have a lot of things to say and where the DCU can go and what I think about the movie. But the first thing I want to talk about and say is this. The SNYDERVERSE is officially done. Cue the intro.
It's a bird! It's a plane!
It's a geek.
So before we get on with the SNYDERVERSE and where the DCU can go next, I want to give my initial thoughts on the movie. I'm going to try not to talk about many spoilers, but I will say skip this part if you haven't seen the movie, because I'm just going to be yapping and talking about any and everything. Actually, I'm going to try not to talk about spoilers, but please don't watch this part if you haven't seen the movie yet. I thought the movie was overall really good. I really did. I do want to also point out that the action in this movie was really good. Really great. Superman can bang. Pause. And he was banging also. Pause again. Bro, the action, oh my, James Gunn, the way you work the camera, bro. Crazy. Now, was it a perfect movie? In no way, shape, or form, it was a perfect movie. But it accomplished what it needed to accomplish in getting the DCU prepared and taking the first step in where they want to go. Hats off to David Cornsweet. David Cornsweet is the actual symbol of hope on screen. This is the first time I actually felt like watching a superhero, and I actually felt like, dude, this is bigger than me. Like it means something. He made me feel that, and that was really well. The one gripe I had about this movie was we didn't get enough Superman. But the Superman that we did get was phenomenal, and I think it's the Superman that we need for this DCU. Mr. Terrific was my second standout, or actually really my third standout. Mr. Terrific stole every scene that he was in. He stole it. He did a great job. I would love to see a spin-off show with just him navigating through that DCU universe, or DCU, and seeing how he moves around. But we did get that crazy action scene with the T-spheres and how he was helping Lois and saving Lois when they were trying to rescue Superman. And even his technology, where you see he has the stuff where the thing is showing where Superman was and stuff. It was very cool. It made me smile to see. I like to think that I'm smart myself, right? You know, college, high school, yada yada yada. It was great to see a smart black dude who wasn't nerdy, who wasn't corny, who was actually like, bro, I'm Mr. Terrific, bro. Do you know who I am? You know what I'm saying? He came off that energy, and that was really cool. The second standout, or why I got ranked second, is none other than freaking Nicholas Hoult as Lex. Y'all know how I was with this. I told y'all, I was very scared with him as Lex, because the trailers, I was like, okay, this dude is going to be very quirky and weird, and this was one of the best villains I've seen in a superhero movie. The only gripe I had with him is we didn't know why he hated Superman. In a way, they kind of say like, yo, he hates Superman because he's a god that's trying to pose as a human, you know, and trying to take over the world. So he's kind of scared. I appreciated that because it was relatable. But I wish we could have got more on that and more of him as well. I've been seeing a lot of people say this is the most comic book movie, such a comic booky movie.
This the most comic book movie he's ever made, and after actually seeing the whole movie, I do agree.
We hear this a lot with a bunch of other movies where it's like, oh, this movie's like a comic book brought to life, or this is very comic booky. That type of statement.
Well, what did he do? He gave us like maybe the most comic book movie we've ever got.
It was really fun. It was a really fun movie. This is a comic book movie. This is the most comic.
And it is. But that's where I want to get into my gripes, all right? Now, y'all know, when it comes to DC, I'm not the biggest DC fan with the comics or any of that. You might as well call me a casual with DC. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I know, like I knew Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho. Oh girl, I knew her from like the old cartoon. She was very annoying. There was one scene where she does her scream and her face is right there and I busted out laughing. I was like, bro, this looks very bad. But I think that's what makes these live action comic book movies cool, is that they're not comic books. If you want to read a comic book, just go to the comic book. It has to be different tonally. One of the things I told y'all that I was afraid of with James Gunn. Now, for the videos I've made, I am not a Snyder fan. I am not a James Gunn fan. I am a superhero fan. I've said that multiple times. But my main gripe and main reason why I'm not the biggest fan of James Gunn and how he does his movies, how he writes his movies, is the fact that he cannot control his goddamn jokes. He can't control it. Now, I will give him credit. This was my favorite James Gunn superhero movie that he's ever done for me. Ever. Like, anything that, this is my favorite James Gunn project ever. His jokes in here made me laugh. I was actually visibly laughing in the theater, which if you watch my videos, you know that's very hard for me to do because stuff that I find funny is stuff that's not really supposed to be funny. Not stuff that is actually made to be a joke. But these jokes were good. The problem I had was the placement of the joke. And I want to say this is gonna be controversial. Crypto was the main reason of this stuff, all right? I love Crypto in the movie, but god dang, this movie to me would have been better without Crypto. Because Crypto, he did a lot of stuff where we're getting serious moments, serious tones, and he's ruining everything. There's the ending scene when Lex Luthor is having his spiel about, yo, you know, this is why I did this is why I captured you at the end of the movie. And Crypto comes in and bites him. We got the scene with him and Mr. Terrific with the T-Spears. And Crypto's messing with that. It's like, dude, it's other stuff like, it was times where Superman and Lois, and I love Lois too, they were having very, very serious and passionate conversations. And outside, you got the Justice Gang fighting this freaking alien thing. It's like, oh, the Justice Gang will do this, will handle that. And that's weird for me because you use that as a joke, but a couple scenes back, we got a close-up of Superman saving a freaking squirrel. So it's like, that was very jarring to me. It's like, bro, James Gunn, you have to stop doing this. This movie would have been, honestly, I have it at 8.5 out of 10 for me. It would have been closer to that 10 range if that didn't happen. Every time that happened, I'm like, and my girlfriend, she's sitting right beside me, and she looking at me, she like, bro, every time something weird happened, like something like that, she'll look to the side of me like, was that necessary? Like, was that, bro, what's going on? Like, overall, the movie was good. He is a great Superman. I'm gonna be honest, he's a great Superman. I love the Justice Gang. I love Guy Gardner. Everything about it was good for me, except for that. And the fact that they had way too much. Even at the end, it didn't feel like everything got tied together because there was so much going on. Way too much. But I'm interested in the next sequel of seeing David Cornsweat's Superman. I really am. I really want to see that universe. That's my kind of like little review. I actually took a little more time with that than I wanted to. Let's talk about Snyder, the Snyder fans and all that. Y'all Snyder fans, I know y'all have to be sick right now. I'm gonna try to find a post. But there were posts going up a week or two before this movie came out, and the Snyder idiots were actually trying to, July 11th, we're gonna sit here and we're gonna revamp the movie. We're gonna do this to the movie. We're gonna make Superman fail and restore the SNYDERVERSE. Yeah! That's how they sound in my head. And it failed badly. The critic score is good. Audience score is great. It's not really working out the way they planned it to. The word of mouth is great. No one is talking about Snyder and their cult right now, alright? So, I want to say this, and y'all see the title of the movie. This should be, and I hope it is, honestly, I hope this is the last time I'm talking about Snyder fans. I really am. Snyder Universe was like, a decade ago at this point. Leave it alone. He had a Superman movie. It was good. It was a great movie. It could have been perfect. I was saying it probably could reach $1 billion. I don't know if it will, just because of those points that I had right there, the jokes and a lot of people like James Gunn's jokes, so I could be in the minority on that one. But it'll do 700 million. It'll do 800 million for sure. It's gonna get up there. It's doing great numbers right now. So, Snyder fans, the pitiful movie y'all hope that Superman will be might not actually be pitiful at all, and it might actually be a well-received movie, which it should be. Where does DC go from here? They have all the momentum right now, and there's another big blockbuster superhero movie that comes out the same month that hardly anyone is talking about. The Superman and DC have done a great job marketing this movie. To have all the momentum, James, you gotta strike the iron while it's hot, or whatever the saying is. You got to. We need a refresher on where we're going. Because now that we have our Superman movie, our first DCU movie, bro, the Little Creature Commandos and the Amanda Waller show, all them, let's stop playing around now. We see what you're trying to do. We see that you can cook. So I need you to cook. Alright, the gun is not jammed. The gun is loaded. Gun reloaded. Y'all, I know y'all saw those Twitter those Twitter hashtags. But anyway, yeah, bro, I'm James Gunn, you got me, bro. I'm here. Batman, okay? Batman is the next project. Now, Batman does probably need to be $1 billion. And I'm glad, for the most part, I don't believe James Gunn is writing Batman or directing it. And he shouldn't. Because what we got in Superman should not be in no way, shape, or form what we get for Batman. What this did do for me, say, what y'all are doing in y'all DCU when it looks like it doesn't look realistic at all, even to the people. In which, that can be a good or bad thing. But I want to see how y'all gonna do it with Batman, because Batman is a literal, grounded in some way, superhero. So I want to see what's the plans for that. And we're supposed to also be getting Damian Wayne. Now here's the problem with that. Damian Wayne in the Batman mythos comes later in Batman's tenure. This Superman has only been Superman for 3 years. So it seems like the timeline isn't quite lining up the way I would think it should. That's scaring me a little bit. You're gonna get Robin on the big screen for the first time. Or in the big screen in the modern age for the first time. So, yeah, man, I'm James Gunn. If we can keep the momentum, keep everything swinging, because essentially what he has to do is, this movie has to be a box office success, which I say anywhere over 600 million will probably be a success for this movie. The budget was only 200 million, so if you do the 2.5 rule, it needs about 500 or so to break even. So actually 600, 700 is where it needs to be for so. You have to hit on Batman, and then everything else is kind of like, you know, if you hit, it's okay. If you don't hit, it's okay. So you hit here, and then hit on Batman, and now we're really getting the show on the road. So that's what I thought about the Superman movie. And if you've been here for a minute, now I'm gonna close here. I made a video a while back, like 2 or 3 years back, where I was talking about this point in time that we're in right now, and saying that the DCU could overtake Marvel, because they already had released that. Back then the movie was called Superman: A New Legacy. They were saying that this movie was going to also be released in July with Fantastic Four. Now, we haven't got up to the point where that shift is there yet. Marvel, DC already swung. Marvel, y'all gotta swing too. Now, I honestly think that Fantastic Four will be the better out of these movies. Superman, reception-wise, will probably be the best because of all the hype it already had. But Fantastic Four will probably be the better movie as a whole. I want to see Marvel, see what y'all can do. And we'll be coming back hopefully at the end of July and saying, yo, is the tide really shifting? Is DC really about to come up here and Marvel come down a little bit? So we'll be seeing that. But yeah, what did y'all think of the movie? Hopefully you watched the movie before watching this video, I hope. And yeah, if you love the video, like the video. If you don't love the video, so like the video. I'm on the road to 500 subscribers. I appreciate if you love like my content, share my content. Without further ado, I'm out. Peace.
Shawty in love with the geek. 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 Popping them up.